All right, let's go. We got Buford back on the show. We've been trying to do this for a hot minute. He's going to take over the entire show. And no, not the entire show, because I
was getting ready to say I am not prepped for the entire show.
I have questions as well. But we're going to do this finally. I think the last time we tried to do this, I don't know, I made it about CrossFit or some shit. I didn't mean to.
We can bounce back and forth. There's all kinds of CrossFit topics we can talk about today too. So
but yeah, you were fucking, I don't know if all you guys on Kill Taylor today were on, like, you had 8 hours sleep. Every single one of you had 8 hours sleep, and you were fucking, you were rolling. It was amazing.
There are shows that I come off of, and I walk out into the living room, and I just am like, whew. Because it's like we were just so high energy. And today was one of those where I had to sit there for 30 minutes before I could recover. But thanks for sponsoring the show. That was a hell of a move.
Oh, it was so, listen, I thank all you guys so much all the time. I can't tell you what you guys have done for us. Especially Sevon and Souza and you coming on the show all the time, and Taylor coming on the show all the time. If I can help, I want to help the same way that you guys help, even if there's only 3 fucking viewers on the screen at the time. It's very cool of you guys, what you guys do. And so if we can be a part of it, we want to be a part of it.
And also thank you, because right now we are up to 765 subscribers.
Yeah,
that is almost 100 in a day.
Yeah, thank you guys.
So that means a lot. And I don't think that Glinton Things would be where it is right now, especially this last year. I mean, she had this idea a couple years ago, and we started it, and we did a little bit, and then we kind of stepped back from it and wasn't really sure what we wanted, what she wanted, what we were going to do together, and all this type of stuff. And she was like, fuck it, I don't really want to do it. And I was like, okay. And then she was like, no, wait, I think I really want to do this. And then once she decided that, and then she really got to talking to Sevon and really got the confidence to ask you and everybody in the group to come on and just talk, which is really what we want this to be. And then you guys continuously say yes, and you continuously come in to hang out with us.
Very cool for that.
And I think Pedro said it perfectly. We just genuinely want to talk about life, about everything. There's nothing specific. It's not like I'm here to get you, you're here to get us. It literally is just, can we sit? It's almost like if we all lived in the same spot and we invited you over to have a beer. That's literally what we want it to feel like.
So there's a thing happening. I don't know if you saw my cryptic post or story the other night.
Yeah.
About the return of CrossFit, so to speak. But you guys, what you did today in sponsoring the show is an inkling of that whole thing. So we just want to hang out with you guys. You guys just want to hang out with us. We want to help you all. Same thing back. And it's there's been a lull, or not even a lull. It's been retroactive for the past 5 years, where it's that's not been going on. Mm-hmm. The community that everybody talks about wants to exist, that's been slowly degrading. And there's been a small group of us that have clung together, that we found each other somehow. We got outside of our comfort zones. All of us did. We were hoisted up by each other. And now we're going into a moment in which all of that is going to coalesce into a giant wave.
Yeah.
This year, something amazing is about to happen. And I think
I'm optimistic too. I think so too. I think it's going to be very cool what we see.
It's because of all of, I don't want to say us, there's other players. I don't really know. I mean, I know the Buttery Bros, but barely, but it's because of them too. And it's we're all starting to play ball. It's we spent the last 3 years, you joined a ball team. You guys, you don't really know how to jive. Everybody plays different styles. And it took us 3 years of practice to be okay, I get it. If you want to play with Sevon, he plays rough, and you have to be able to adjust your game to play that way. But we're now getting to the place where it's okay, everybody knows how everybody plays. Now let's play the fucking game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so it's incredible what you guys are doing. It's very fun.
Edging. Little Dr. Phil, Oprah, Springer, Johnny Carson, all rolled into one. Sounds about right.
Slater, what's up, dude? Tyler's a good dude. My wife said so. Wait. Yeah, I was gonna say, dude, hey, you're feeling super comfortable hopping into my wife's DMs without me. What's up?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Listen, I see
No.
Glinton. I see Glinton on the end, and I'm
Yep.
just like, I just send a message. I
Yep.
did not realize for the first little bit that it was Colleen. I
I
was just
believe
like,
that.
this is the show. This was the show thing. And then I was
Yep.
like, oh shit, it's Colleen.
I looked at her, I was like, oh my God, you got dudes hopping in your DMs just like freestyling in the DMs.
She said, it's
like,
just Tyler.
I was like,
Exactly.
it's Tyler. She's like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Wad Zombie, what's up, dude? Hey, just so you know, we got all of them. We're going to the games this year finally.
We are.
And we're taking all these motherfuckers and we're gonna see what we can do in getting them signed and having a good time.
So
and just
excited that
being,
we're gonna go to the games
yeah,
for the
complete
first time.
fans.
Yeah.
How
So
far
cool.
is Albany or Albany for you guys?
Albany.
Albany is about 4 hours from us. 4.5
Nice.
on like a shitty day, but about 4 hours for us.
Before we move too far away.
Yeah.
Oh, I was driving today and I was like, why is it that you guys do this?
Why is it that we did it?
Do all of this? What's the point?
This podcast, I definitely wanted to start because I definitely wanted to talk about the fact that I had been, I guess, woke, if you will, and snapped out of it, and just everything I was seeing was like, this is not. I don't agree with this. Like, as a alphabet mafia and a half black woman, like, I don't agree with any of this, and I think I just wanted to start talking about it, and I started it with that. And also, I do love CrossFit and I love all you guys and your personalities. And I kind of just wanted to talk to you about things that aren't
That
CrossFit. Yeah. I mean, I do want to talk to you about CrossFit, but I also want to know who you are as a person too. So that's kind of where it came from.
It is interesting because in your answer, you didn't say a goal. And I remember like in my early talks to Sevon back in the day, like I would be like, what's the goal? What, like, he was like, I don't do that. He was like, I'm just a retriever. He was like, if you give me a ball, like I play with it. He was like, that's all I know how to do. And I was like, it really shifted. It brain fucked me because it's like everything I do is kind of like, it does have some sort of goal tied to it. Like I think so big all the time that everything's just a pipe dream. Whereas like I had to take a step back and like kind of do the Sevon method where it was like, stop fucking doing that and just move. And so it's like, I like that in your answer, there was not like
it's not, I really do. I do enjoy talking literally to all of you. I enjoy it. I've always wanted to ask you questions and never got to, and now I get to ask you questions. And then hanging out, like edging, just so you know, bro, like I talked to my brother and he helped me out, and my camera was in 4K and I moved it down to 1080 on the 30. So hopefully now it won't overheat. Like, it really is cool. Like, are you Albanians? I don't know what that means, but it's fun.
Albany.
It's fun to talk about. It's, you know what I mean? Like, I see it and it's cool. Annie, shoot, what's up? It's been awesome watching all this happen for the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I literally made Sevon's board. I don't know if that's a pause, but maybe I should say pause. Where like all you guys kind of came out of the Sevon sphere, and it was really cool. And when I made it, what it looked like, it was just a whole kind of, it was the Sevon verse. It was
like a web.
Yeah,
it was like everything.
Oh, you drew like the
how
the web.
it yeah.
I don't know.
I did that one day too. It's cool, isn't it?
It was so cool, and to see it just maybe be like, yeah, this is community. You know what I mean? And he came on the show one day and was like, hey, I know all these names in your chat. And I'm like, yeah, your chat's fucking awesome. Like, your people are awesome. This thing that you built is awesome.
Like Papa Birch, like Jeffrey Birchfield was one of the first people that literally was the only person in the chat when we first started. When he first found us, he literally was our OG and supported us. He doesn't show up to like as much as he used to, but in the beginning, he was the person that was in the chat. And then
and you can call him
Judy
for
and
anything.
Jody
All of them.
And then when Kenneth found us, Kenneth is one of our number ones too. He is always with us, hanging out with us, and we've slowly started to grow, but it literally has been from all of you guys.
It's cool what you guys do. It really is.
I think what happened a couple or maybe 5 years ago, like something like the bomb went off 2019-20, and
it was the Greg tweet.
CrossFit, it did. All the community, it's like the Tower of Babel fell, and we all stopped knowing how to talk to each other. And then, I mean, I'll just say, like, Sevon came back, and then we found how to talk to each other again. And like, this is how, like, Barstool had the same trajectory. They like puddled in the mud for years and years and years, and now they have a crazy huge following. And this is how CrossFit gets back to where it was, is learning how to do shit like this again.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll give you the, like, I guess, fluffy version or the fancy version of how I kind of was able to put it into words is Garrett and I met at a kitchen table at her family's house where I was there and she came to visit. And the best part about this kitchen table is that it's in the middle of the kitchen and everybody comes and just sits at the table. And we're talking about this and we're talking about this and we're laughing and we're joking and we're having serious conversations.
It's politics.
It's everything. And this is literally how Garrett and I met each other. So when she first had this idea, we wanted to call it like sitting at the table or come to the table or something like that. We couldn't use it because it was somebody else's.
What's her fucking face's round table?
Will Smith something.
It was Will Smith's
pull up a chair.
It
was something like that. And it's literally because we found each other there, and we think it's the coolest thing possible is that when everybody comes to the table, like you said, can we have conversations that literally go everywhere and still leave the table and then come back? Can we do that? Because we haven't been able to do that for a very long time. And her finding Sevon and building a friendship with Sevon is the first one that essentially like pulled out the chair for her and said, come sit. And if it wasn't for that relationship, then we never would have met any of you guys and really been a part of this.
I think about that a lot with what Sevon's done. Not to just sit here and blow Sevon.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, can we get to the?
Go ahead.
I'm trying to get to the lesbians.
Last thing, let him.
But
he loves lesbians too.
He does.
It is amazing that instead of trying to extract value, he just, anybody who said I want to do stuff, he was like, come. And look at everything that's happened.
He is him. No, I'm just kidding. Don't tell John Young that. Don't tell anybody that.
Heat One would be nowhere without him. And speaking of Heat One, if you haven't signed up, sign up, play Wadapalooza. Heat One is out for Wadapalooza. If you don't know what it is,
I will play Wadapalooza. I promise.
We are giving away $100 or $200 total, and then a bunch of gift cards from Both Proven. Buy the Proven supplements. I've been taking them for the past couple of weeks, and they're really good. And then also frog grips. So yeah,
okay, awesome.
He wouldn't be nowhere without it.
Yeah.
Let me get to this edging. I have changed names several times because Sevy misunderstood and went off on me. I am sensitive. Oh,
edging. I don't think you're alone.
What's your original name? And also, he loves you. It's fine. I love your new name though. Don't lose that.
I want to like guess the name before.
Yeah, like who?
I don't know how to make polls. And I have to learn. I have to talk to
Caleb.
It's
on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah.
Crossbat. Tyler says Barstool, and now their big dogs are leaving. Business gone.
Bussin's gone. No, Bussin.
Oh, Bussin's gone.
I'm pretty sure Bussin re-upped their contract. I might be wrong.
All right, let's go. What do you want to do?
Let's do it.
Where do you want to start? Oh, let's establish
preface.
Yeah, let's establish baselines first. What year did you graduate high school? So I'm fully
2010.
Oh fuck. Okay, you guys are in the same boat. All right, cool. It was different for me. I graduated in 99. So
holy shit.
Yeah.
You're literally like the high school class where I was like, they had the perfect go. Like like 1997, I think was one of the best like years musically, vibes wise.
No, I
Everything
grew
was
up in the best
perfect.
era. There's no 80s, 90s. Like I was, I had the,
The Abercrombie era.
don't talk about that. That's fucking terrible. They're horrible. Abercrombie's horrible. But okay, let's, Kenneth,
Why do
2008,
you ask that?
2010, because
2008, kind of. Me too.
the gay world was different then.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard Sevon and Hiller, they were trying to talk about it the other day. And the 70s, 80s, and 90s were the kind of worst years.
For the gays.
Yeah. In coming out, telling anybody that we were gay, the AIDS epidemic, like all that stuff is what I kind of, the AIDS quilt. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but that was
AIDS quilt.
Yeah.
They made a whole
quilt.
a huge quilt that they put names of everybody that died from AIDS and put it on the lawn in front of the Capitol, White House.
Yeah.
I forget where, but
Yep.
literally they made an entire
it was a huge,
quilt.
It was a huge march, and it was people's names. And it was basically because they blamed AIDS on the gays. Like that was the whole, before we knew what it was like, hey,
yeah, gay AIDS.
So I just want to establish where you are in the
well, here I'll show.
Premise of this is
this is it
basically.
right, this is it.
Yeah. Just click on any picture.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the
all of this. Yep.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The premise is that
that song, Brighter Day. Yep, you right.
I didn't grow up around lesbians in particular. I had a few gay friends, but it just seemed like last show I ended up asking a bunch of lesbian questions. So we were like, hey, why don't we go back and forth? I ask lesbian questions and you guys ask whatever.
We're gonna ask lesbian questions too, so go for it.
I have like 6 or 7. I have a pretty good base. We'll start fun and then we'll go deep as we go.
Yeah. Oh, pause. Go ahead. I don't go deep, but okay, that's fine. Go ahead, continue.
How do you guys feel about lesbian college girls or college girls experience like experimenting in lesbianism, but then they just back out?
Oh, gay on the weekends?
Yeah, gay on the weekend.
Yeah, gay on the weekends. That's what we always called it. Yeah, you know who those girls are. And so you either accept that that's what you're doing, like you're hooking up with them on the weekends, but you can't actually like them. You can't fall in love. You can't, because you know they're not actually, you're going to get your heart fucking destroyed if you actually fall in love with those girls.
It's a trap.
Yeah, it's a trap. It's a trap. Like, don't do it. It's a pussy trap.
But many
don't get
lesbian women fall for straight women.
And that's the downfall.
And that's always the downfall, is that they fall for the gays on the weekends. They fall for the straight women. Like, it's just part of the process. And it's difficult when you do have those girls that go out, drink a little bit too much, like to kiss, hold hands, dance a little too close or whatever. And then usually that leads to the lesbian wanting more and also
her not. Yeah. She's not going to eat box. You know what I mean? She's not. Like, that's not what's going to happen.
Hello,
Gays
Matt,
on the
Sousa.
weekends. Hey, Sousa, what's up?
Thank you for everything earlier.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. But yeah, she's not going to eat box and she's always going to need the D. And so if you go there, you're just going to get destroyed. And there's like literally a way that you figure this out. And the way to figure this out is when you're in high school and you fall in love with your best friend.
So you got to go through it.
You have to go through it and realize that she's always going to date the prom king. And it's like, she's going to come for you for that emotional support, but she's always going to want to date the prom king.
Why are they doing that?
Because women are emotional creatures. Like we need emotional connection. That's why a lot of straight women, I mean, at least that I know of, need to go hang out with their girlfriends and get away from their husbands because they want that emotional conversation, that emotional connection, but they always want to go home to the D.
So
Like it,
they confused it a little bit with friendship, and they crossed the border,
yeah.
and they're like, whoops.
Yep.
And I also think that if you take it to another layer, I think that if a girl has been traumatized in any way, I think that she feels safer being with a woman. So I think that it's during that process of trying to find safety again, she's going to go to a girl, and she might experiment with a girl because it's safer than the experience. Oh, there you go.
I'm sure the fuck he was.
So I think that there's that aspect of it too. I think it is, for some, I think it's just fun. I think it might be a little bit of confusion. I also think that there are women that lean towards women to try to find themselves again if there have been any trauma.
Okay, can I ask you this, since we're going tit for cack?
Don't ask if you can ask.
Tit
for cack.
Tit for cack.
Tit for cat.
Did you have any gay friends in high school? Was there anybody that was actually out in high school?
Yeah. Well, they weren't out, but we knew.
Right.
There's one guy I played football with, and it was like, we knew.
Right.
And sometimes it would get weird in the locker room and stuff like that. You know, it took me a long time. So like flamboyant gays.
Yeah.
That was a lot more rare.
The flaming
flamers.
Yeah.
I had less. There was like a lot. There was only like one or two of those, right? And I liked them. I thought it was weird, and I struggled with being okay with sort of the flaming gay attitude for a long time. And that's because, and I think that's what actually like most guys run into. So in my family in particular, like you don't seek out attention. You don't draw attention to yourself. And so when you see like flamboyant gay, like you're immediately like put off because you're doing the thing that we're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's not actually that you don't like them. It's that you don't know how to deal with what it is they're doing there. And it wasn't until we moved to Charlottesville, and there was a guy he had recently come out, and he's pretty flamboyant. And I remember talking to my buddy from California about it. And this guy, it was really interesting because he was conservative from California, had been in the Army, but he was raised in California. And he was like, he's trying to figure it out. And he was like, so don't be put off by this. He was like, just imagine that it's something that you're trying to put on for the first time, that you've been putting away about yourself for so long. He was like, he's jumping off the deep end. He's got to figure this out. And once I could respect that part, I was like, okay, like I can understand like the flamboyant gay thing a little bit more. But like growing up, like there were definitely some closeted gay guys I was friends with.
That's okay. I have a question for that. But Matt Souza, I was born in '87. All right, and grew up in the Bay Area. Gay has always been 100% normal my entire life. Yeah, it wasn't. And look at New York now. Look where New York is now. It was not when I was born in '81. So, and it was not. It didn't get like chill probably maybe till 2007, 5, somewhere in there, and then it was just like, oh, okay, whatever, dude. You knew you could throw a rock, and you knew. But
hit a gay.
Yeah, hit a gay. Sorry, my bad. We're not. But I think that's why if you want to go flaming lesbians, I think that's why we're a little bit more accepted, is because we're not doing like that would be me, right? Like everybody knew I was a lesbian before I even knew.
Right.
But it just was like I wasn't imposing myself on anybody. I wasn't doing something outside the norm. I was just in sweatshirts, hoodies, played softball and played basketball. So like Colleen, you wouldn't know she was gay in high school at all, or that she was even thinking about it or whatever. Me, everybody said they knew, but I'm not in your face, I guess, is what you're trying to say.
Well, it's funny because you started acting more in the masculine sense, and that's not off-putting to a dude. Matter of fact, like so many dudes like hanging out with gay or butchy girls because it's like, oh, we can fuck
You're
with
one
them.
of the dudes. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like we can understand how to deal with that. Oh, to what Sousa said about growing up in the Bay Area. I mean, like, for those who don't know, I'm from Kentucky, and that is it's not normal. It's still not normal now. It's I would say it's still not accepted,
Yeah.
especially where I grew up.
Yeah.
People are okay. It's still like a don't ask, don't tell sort of era.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm fine with that too. Like, I don't need to tell you who the fuck I sleep with. You know what I mean? I never had a real problem with that. It was never like, hey, I need to scream in your it's gonna be
You're
bad.
about
I
who I'm
never need to scream in your face that who I like to sleep with. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't need to do that. I don't know.
So that brings me to like this moves into my like next question. I was thinking like along these lines. I'll hit it with this one first. Pride, right? The whole pride movement. How do you? I think I'll just say like, how do you all feel about that?
My perspective has changed. So when I came out, I had a very hard time coming out. And then when I was out, finally, I was all about, what I would say is I would wear the rainbows. I would buy the shirts. I would buy the swag and whatever. And I would wear that around my friends, but I would not wear it in certain areas. I would not wear it in specific places because I was still trying to come out. I was still trying to figure out who I was. I was a dance teacher also too. So I struggled with that because I'm like, if these parents, because it is taboo, usually for gay men, but also for gay women too, that if I'm a teacher, I'm a dance teacher, that I must be inappropriately looking at your children. And then people look at me differently because I'm gay. So then I struggled with that for a while too. So in the beginning, I bought all the stuff and I would go to all the prides and go to all the, where I'm from, there was a gay bar that was open every weekend and I would go there and be out and be happy and whatever. And then when we got together, I know I always make,
she has
Google,
whatever.
Don't worry, the balloons will come out at some point too. And then
Wouldn't be pride if they didn't.
Right. And then when we got together, I still very much was that. I still very much would buy, the rainbow shirts. We bought them when the whole thing happened down in Orlando at the Pulse nightclub. And we bought all those shirts and I would wear them and I would be out and I would be proud. But I also feel like pride has changed. And then becoming a mom, like I have a onesie from a friend of ours and then one that I bought that says I have two mommies. And then I have the shirt that said, I love my family with a rainbow on it because I looked at it as we're two women, we're two moms, and we have a kid. It's family. But I feel like that pride has changed. And I feel like the gay community has changed. I don't remember even coming out and experiencing with my sexuality and trying to figure out what the fuck is going on or whatever. I still don't remember pride being so sexualized. You're in the gay club and people are dancing on each other and you have those one or two that are touching a little bit too much in public and whatever. But like pride for us was just all of us wearing rainbow and walking down the street and just being proud of each other and being there to support each other. Now you have them walking, they're naked. They're literally naked walking down the street. You know what I mean? And so my perspective on pride has changed.
Pride started so that you could walk outside with your partner. That was the purpose. The purpose of it was so that you didn't feel afraid to go outside and walk hand in hand with your partner. Now it has become a sex parade. Now you know what I mean? Before it was like, hey, I have a kid, I have a spouse. It wasn't even a spouse back then, but like I have a partner, I have a kid, blah, blah, blah. We're going to walk as a family and show that we can walk outside and not get spit on. And now it's become, how much sex can I have? And let me tell you who I have sex with. And let me tell you like all this kind of.
It's like kink now and it's fetishes now where it's not just being able to walk down the street with your family and being safe to walk down the street with your family. It's really changed.
Do you think so? Who is it? Morgan Freeman.
I
He was
said
asked-
family more than Dom Toretto.
Morgan Freeman, when he was asked about like racism, he was like, if you want it to go away, stop talking about it. Do you feel like once this whole thing starts up, is there a point where like you're like, okay, we're normalized now? Like maybe it's time to stop having the pride parades. I'm not saying that I want that to happen, but what I'm saying is like the more attention.
Yes.
You see what I'm getting at?
I
Like
know
the
what
more
you're trying to-
attention
yes.
there's a point where it's like, okay, like we met like normality.
We got
Maybe
there
it's
when
time
we
to
were
like chill out.
when we were federally able to be married and we had those protections as a married couple. Like if I die, my family can't take our kid from her, or her
Mhm.
family can't take our kid from me. And like whatever we have in the bank account goes to her and the kid. And once we had those protections, that was pretty much it. There was nothing that
For most people, that was the fight.
there was nothing that gay people couldn't do that straight people couldn't do at that point.
Mhm.
That's where we were at.
So what do you think, like, what's the move, or what move would you want to see like the whole pride thing do now? Is just back off of the sex stuff, or is it like, hey, maybe it's time to like just
Chill the
turn
fuck
the
out.
machine off or
Yeah.
run it at 1,000 RPM instead of 10,000?
Yeah, because my question is, what is the point of it now?
Yeah.
Like, what is the definition of it now? Because it's changed so much.
There's no
So
mission statement anymore. Mission statement's gone. We did it. We're here. We're able to adopt.
We
We're
won.
able-
Yeah.
we did it. We fucking did it.
and I think that
Nobody bats an eye at us anymore. Like,
well, they do now.
well, yeah, this climate,
because
this stupid.
They
fuck-
assume it's a
because
sex thing.
gone
Yeah.
completely the other way. So and maybe in my my changing my views and having more conversations or whatever, maybe I'm a little bit more of a pessimist than I thought. But like I think that these type of movements, I think, is going to send us back in a way that we don't want. Like you said, the normals that just want to be able to be protected, that just want to be able to raise a family and have those protections with each other as well as our family. I feel like movements like this, and that's also why you hear so many people talking about religion again and talking about I always get these mixed up, the traditional family, not the nuclear family, the traditional family. And pushing that narrative of like men and women only can raise children and have a family. You know what I mean? So I actually feel like there is going to be a shift. Again, I don't want my marriage to be taken away, but sadly, I wouldn't be surprised if it is on the desk.
Yeah,
back at the Senate.
See, I disagree with her. I don't feel like there's going to be a shift like that anymore. Bob, what's up?
All caps.
Bob, yeah, let's go. I'm an old.
Why are you yelling, Bob?
I'm in the school of don't ask, don't care. I like that school. That's a good school. You do you. Used to love the old time gay pride parades. Whole bunch of people having fun. Yeah, that's what I thought too, for sure. Absolutely. Go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, Colleen, I was just going to say, I don't like, even being from a conservative area in the don't ask, don't tell region. Like, I don't think anybody's going to say like, no, like they're not allowed to get married. The whole idea of marriage to me, and I think I talked about this a little bit last time, it's a religious idea. You know, I always thought that there should be a state union so that like you can recognize that, like, you know, we pay taxes together. If I die, she gets my assets, like all that stuff. But like, marriage is a religious concept, and I've never understood why the state has anything to do with it anyway. So for them to repeal that makes zero sense to me. And I don't think in Kentucky that they would do that, because they're just like, man, leave these people alone. Like, we just don't want to see fucking dudes walking with their dicks out in the middle of the street.
Yeah,
or people on leashes.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Or this, again, you have these children that are there when people are naked.
For what?
And fucking on the street. Like, they're in some of these prides, they're literally fucking on the street. Any other time, they would get arrested.
Right.
First, they would get arrested and go to jail. But because it's Pride, now we're
It's fine.
saying
We
that
can do that,
everything
yeah.
sexually and sexualizing everything is okay. But any other day of the year,
If there's a dude with his dick out, he's getting arrested for indecent exposure or a ticket or
Gay or not.
yeah,
gay or not,
right.
gay or masturbating on the corner, you're going to jail. Like, but during Pride now,
Straight
with
to
this
jail.
movement,
Yeah.
it's not like that.
We've almost asked for special treatment, and that I don't agree with at all. I never was like, hey, I want special treatment. I just want to be able to have my wife protected, my kid protected under the law. And then if religious, like it was important for me to get married in a church, but if we weren't allowed to get married in a church, I wouldn't have been like, oh, we're not, in my mind, married. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I wouldn't love her forever and be with her forever if we couldn't have gotten married in a church. If they
Right.
said that, like, that's,
I still would have changed my name.
yeah, it's just
I still would have taken her name.
Before we move away from Pride,
boobs out, cool, leave the wieners at home. What's up, Vindicate?
it's weird
that is
one.
that is the answer for most.
It's
Hey,
weird
and-
how one's offensive and one's not.
Yeah.
And it is. Like, I'm sorry.
But also
is.
not to change complete topics or whatever, but take boobs into consideration. Women can walk around with their tits out for Pride, and guys are happy and women are happy and whatever. But
I'm okay with it.
But-
I am okay with it. Not
woman-
with kids there, though.
But a
Not with
woman
kids.
that wants to fucking breastfeed her child in a restaurant
Not
gets
cool.
looked at way differently. So like
yeah,
make
true.
it make sense. Make it make sense.
Also, Vindicate, I wanted to say too, when I watched the show the other day and it was it was John Hiller and what was it? John
And Sousa.
Hiller and Sousa with no shirts on. It got weird fast.
Oh, at the end.
That was so weird, so fast. I'm okay with it. Tits out. I'm fine with tits out. I was okay with it, but
They totally peer pressure
it-
Sousa into doing
It's because Sousa made it weird. He didn't embrace it.
it. Yeah.
It was good until he got weird. So,
Oh wait, hold on. Before we leave boobs, this is a very important question. What's your position on man boobs? Yay or nay?
oh, if I get really honest about this is going to be really bad. I guess I would say, okay, so the guy on Kill Taylor today, the really hot guy that almost beat Taylor, was like a half a second that I would have been okay giving my money to that man. He was so hot.
Garrett's like, I did send him $500 after.
I sent it anyway. I sent him $500 anyway because
Mhm.
he was
Mason.
it was so fucking, yeah, he was hot as shit. I think man boobs means that a dude's out of shape. I'll just be nice and say I think if a guy has boobs, he's out of shape. And so I feel like I'm worried for your health, man. I don't
Good
think that's
answer.
okay.
Solid answer.
Is that politically
Solid
correct?
answer.
I'm not gonna make fun of you for having boobs, but you shouldn't have boobs
But you're a dude and you shouldn't have boobs.
Mhm.
You should
Right.
look like Mason.
unless you're my best friend, and then I'm gonna make fun of you. Um,
That's why guys are awesome, because y'all can do that. Like,
Right.
Mhm.
women can't do that.
before we move away from the pride thing, so
Yeah, go ahead.
I was thinking about this question, and I was like, okay, let me turn it around back on myself, and it's like, okay, what about me? Like, what about being from Appalachia makes me proud? That's a weird idea. Like, I was just born there. It seems like something you shouldn't be proud of, but I did, like, later in life become proud of that. It's a weird thing. It's different. We grew up very differently. And I've started to appreciate that I can see the world the way that I see it because of where I grew up. What about being lesbians are you proud of? Or are you proud of being a lesbian?
It's not an accomplishment.
No. But
Like, it's not-
being born in Appalachia wasn't an accomplishment either.
I mean, maybe it was. Maybe you lucked out. No, I don't. It's not. To me, it's not an accomplishment. And this will go well into the question that I have for you. But it's just who I like to sleep with. There's no other definition of a lesbian other than who I want to sleep with. that's not a fucking accomplishment. That's just who I like to sleep with. You don't need to know that. And if I never said anything out loud about it, who
No,
like I, nobody gives a fuck. I do you know what I mean? Like you see the person I walk around with every day. Obviously, you know who I like to sleep with, just the way I see you walk around with your wife and she's pregnant now. Obviously, we know who you like to sleep with. It really doesn't need to be a conversation. Being proud of where I'm from, sure. Yeah, I'm proud of where I'm from, proud of how I grew up, proud of the morals that I built from where I grew up. Sure. But the idea of pride in the inverse of shame.
is the inverse of shame.
Yeah, is the inverse of shame. Yeah. I I
So the logic is pride means you aren't ashamed.
I mean, I'm not ashamed to be a lesbian if
You're
that's
not proud either.
but it's not like I don't feel the need. Like, yeah, when you first come out, sure. When you first come out, because when we first came out, coming out of the closet was a big deal. People might not accept you. People might not like you. People might break your car windows. People might call you all kinds of names, whatever, make you feel like shit. So it's scary to come out, or it was scary to come out. I don't know if it's scary to come out anymore, but at the time it was. So sure, I get the theme of pride, but now that we've gotten where we've gotten, like we're fine. It's the I think who said it? Natalie. I think Natalie said it. It's the extremists that took it too far, and now they want to include too much. And it's like, nah, we weren't there for that. We weren't ready for like no one agrees that kids should be involved in this shit at all. Zero.
Right.
So I guess that would be my answer. I don't know. Did that help? Because that would be my
Colleen?
question.
I mean, I think for me, oh, hello, Lena. I think for me, it's being proud of the person that I am, and I just happen to also be a lesbian too. You
So
know
it's
what I
just more
mean?
pride in you being you.
Yeah, because like she said, going, coming out, and when I came out, it was not received well from my family. It wasn't. It was received well from my friends, but it was not received well from the most important people in my life, which was my best friend at the time. She
Mhm.
literally told me like, I'm fucking stupid. There's something wrong with me. She was my best friend at the time. Yeah, it was bad. And then my
Yes,
family.
there is a hoe phase. I'll get to that. We'll get to the hoe phase. There's definitely a hoe phase.
And then it wasn't received well from my family. And I think I've talked about this before. I think when you're in the moment, and this is a testament to what growth looks like and to what seasons of your life looks like and to thinking differently looks like. We all want our parents to love us no matter what. We want the most important people that no matter what we do, no matter what we say, no matter if we come out, we don't come out, and whatever, every decision that we make, we want our friends and our closest family to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And my family was not. My family was not. And being older now and listening to all of this transgender shit and whatever, is that what my family was going through was grief. They knew how much I wanted to be a mom. And in their mind, they thought that I was not going to be a mother if I was a lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
If I was still with my ex, then no, I probably still to this day would not be a mother. It's expensive. There's a lot. It was not a good relationship that I was with my ex and whatever. But being with Garrett, the possibilities and the opportunities opened up way more. And obviously everything's good. We have a kid. So my family was grieving the person that they thought that I was going to be.
But the minute she was pregnant,
But the minute I was pregnant,
I was all of a sudden
flipped.
everybody's fine.
an awesome human fucking
Everybody's
being.
good, and so we do always want that. And I wasn't just struggling because I was coming out. I was struggling with my own trauma that I experienced, my own childhood that I was going through. So when you have all of that chaos essentially mixed together, you don't know where to go. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to move through that. So what I can say now is that pride for me in that moment was safety. It was a sense of community at that point, because I did find a good community to have when I was coming out. So it was finding the safety again to, one, be around people, and people that were there for me as I was trying to figure out who I was and deal with everything. Now what I can say that I'm proud of the person that I am. And part of who I am is a lesbian that loves a woman and is married to a woman.
Yeah, cross
So
that.
that's the difference, I think.
That's as much. Yeah, I couldn't, when I was, playing devil's advocate, I was like, I'm not proud of being straight. I just am straight.
Yeah, you just are. But yeah, yeah.
But you're proud of yourself for who you are and who you
right.
are. And it's just part of you, and it wasn't until this show, actually, we were having a conversation and the realization really kind of opened my eyes is that I tell people all the time to stay out of my fucking bedroom. It's nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
But when you lead with your sexuality,
which is what pride does.
Which is what I did for a very long time, correcting everybody and making sure that everybody knew that she's my wife. And we both would get pissed off. Like, she's a fucking girl. Stop calling her a dude. Stop calling her sir. And it wasn't until we realized that most important people will know. The most important people will pay attention and will understand and need to know. The rest of the world is what it is. I'm not out here to show the entire world. I'm here to show the people that mean something to me. You know what I mean? So it's just different.
CrossFit's last comments.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, if you're loud and proud about being straight, such that you're straight. Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Very fair. It's like, it's not like you can go out and be like, yo, I'm proud to be a white dude. If you went out and said that shit right now, you'd be fucked, bro. you can't.
Here's the thing about that.
Maybe Monday you can say it. You can say it Monday. Can't say it today.
It's so is there a growing, let me reverse into what you just said. Is there a growing sentiment of other lesbians that feel the way you feel and are becoming more outspoken about, like, hey, we got to cut it out with this bullshit. Like, you just fuck other chicks. That's it. Like, stop.
Dude, that's what won the election, bro. We splintered. We all, the LGBT
lesbians won the election.
Man, the alphabet. No,
that's
gays.
why we're first.
Yo,
there's an actual reason why,
the leaders.
Why the L is first.
Yeah.
And LGB. It used to just be LGB, but it's because women were the only ones. Lesbians were like, no, fuck transgenders. You're not women. Like, you're not. We are. Well, yes. And also during the AIDS epidemic or whatever, lesbians were the only ones that would be taking care of men that were dying from AIDS.
Yeah.
So that is why the L is first.
Yeah, bro.
Because we're
the shit. No, we all splintered. We fractured. We were like, fuck off. We're not doing this. We actually fought straight women. A lot of straight women for this shit. Like, we were like, no, bro, you're not. What are you talking about? You're not defending women right now. Right. You're absolutely not defending women right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are seeing that it's going way too far and are reminded that that's
we were
not what it was.
Got to be too many fucking letters. We didn't say it anymore. We just say alphabet at this point because nobody wants to use icons and shit.
So the growing sentiment amongst the lesbians of being like, hey, we need to backtrack a little bit, or we need to get the reins on this. I think you were saying, like, you can't say you're proud to be a white guy. I think that sentiment is reversing. This is what I've noticed about, or like, I just kind of keep pulse on different things. I think there is a growing sentiment among certain white people where there's been a bashing of the past couple of years, where they're starting to look at that phrase and think differently.
Which phrase? Say the phrase.
Proud to be a white person.
Yeah. Fuck it. Everybody's sick of being called a racist. Everybody's sick of being called racist. Everybody's sick of being called misogynist. Everybody's sick of being called homophobic, transphobic, whatever the fuck phobic. We're all sick of it, and nobody gives a shit anymore. You can't use that anymore because you basically have gone on TV, and because Trump won the election, then the whole country is racist. The fuck? No way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So that's like the thing for me is, like, there's a commonality here where it's like, okay, like, the gays felt bashed for decades and decades, or 100 years. I don't know, however long.
Whatever.
And
I'm pretty for a white guy. Dude,
said
you're on
no,
fire.
said no white guy ever.
No, that song was
That was the shit.
for
You never heard that
so
song?
long.
No. I know
Okay,
you're
I was
talking
like,
Yeah.
oh my god, no,
Yeah,
we
that
sang the
song
fuck
was
out of that
the
song.
shit.
But
Sorry.
like they got bashed for so long, gays did, and it's like when that starts to happen, it doesn't matter what group it is. All of a sudden, it starts to like fucking group together and say like, all right, you're gonna have to calm down.
Yeah.
And then if that doesn't happen, if the calming down doesn't happen, there's a reversal that happens and people start getting pissed. And that's the thing that I might be nervous about, is if we don't cause or calm down some of the racism stuff, like white people are all racist and all that shit, like we're gonna walk ourselves into white people being actually racist.
That's fair. I do think that we police our own. Like I definitely have felt that in the alphabet community this year. I feel like, or in the last couple years, I feel like we've started to police our own and be like, hey, yo, like, stop fucking with our kids. Hey, yo, stop being in women's bathrooms. Hey, like, we've started to police our own.
Yeah, very vocally. A lot of people very vocally, because just like you said, people that might not have had a problem with LGBT for before are going to have a problem now with like, the T, the A, the plus, all that type of stuff. So people that didn't have a problem before are going to have problem now.
And they're doing it in the Black community too. I've seen it a lot. I follow a lot of YouTube channels. I follow a lot of Instagrams, and there are Black people out there that are like, hey, yo, guys, not all white people are racist. Hey, yo, guys, what Trump said wasn't racist. Hey, yeah, like every community kind of is starting to police their own. And I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's because somebody said on a podcast the other day, hey, if you have one drop of Black in you, you're Black. And I was like, no one would fucking say I'm Black. Not one person. My dad is Black. No one's going to look at me and be like, hey, you can say the N-word. You know what I mean? Not one. So it's people are starting to kind of police their own and maneuver in a way. And I think it's cool. I think those conversations should start to have. There are podcasts that I've seen now that have never had someone from the opposite side on. They're now having people from the opposite side. And it's really good conversation.
It does feel like we went so far in one direction that everybody's like, whoa, maybe like maybe we need to hear somebody else.
Yeah. When you start seeing people like Cenk and Charlemagne the God, and there's a couple others, but that you start seeing them have rational conversations with Republicans and be like, oh, hey, yeah, I see that. I see where the Democrats went wrong. I see where the messaging from the Democrats went wrong this year. I get it. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, fuck, these are diehard. They believe that Biden didn't have a mental decline 4 years ago. Like they believe all this shit. Now they're like, oh yeah, he can't see the back of his hand. Like
it'll never get written in the history books, but I think like one of the main things.
Good night, Bob. Thank you.
Bob. Thanks for writing in all caps. I appreciate you playing the game and writing all caps to get your shit seen. But like, it'll never get written in the history books that I think one of the main things that turned all of the conversations around was the comedians not playing this game.
Yes.
And like being offensive, saying the words you're not allowed to say, and just taking the hits so that everybody else could see like, no, they're living the better way.
Yeah. It's more fucking fun.
Isn't that how comedy started? Isn't that that the glory days of comedy where that's what it's supposed to be? It's supposed to be funny. And everybody's on the chopping block.
Yeah, everybody can get it.
Everybody can get it. Nobody is left out.
I love it.
That was the funny part about that. That was bringing people together, is that you could be sitting in an entire stadium of so many different people and everybody's laughing at every single joke. And you just don't have that anymore in a lot of places.
It's funny that guys like Theo Von did that.
Yeah.
It's like this fucking idiot from Louisiana.
Right. Who's high 95% of the time. He's fucking great. He's great. Vicky, I don't want to lose this. Big problem is in this country is people stopped actually talking to each other in an effort to understand instead of screaming, yeah, into the void or just argue.
Absolutely.
You want to, and
that is the statement.
this is
that is the statement of everything and every topic is that nobody wants to talk. Everybody wants to yell.
I talked to Bernie Yen a lot about this, and thank you, Bernie, if you're out there, but trying to make people just agree with you is the worst possible thing that you can do. It's like, you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree about my lifestyle. You don't have to agree that like I don't see racism everywhere. If you see racism everywhere, I don't agree with you, but I don't think you're a complete fucking douchebag, and I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I'll still have a conversation with you. We don't have the same lenses, and that's okay. But people so much want to change your mind. And it's like, I don't need to change anybody's mind. It's fine. If you want to have the conversation, then you want to have the conversation. If you don't, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
When I notice I'm in a conversation with somebody who I vehemently disagree with, I'll just ask questions that like get them deeper into the thought process that I already think that they're in, or the realm in which they live, because I'm like, they're not going to change me. So I just reorient it to where it's like, you're going to get to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to see how deep you go with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
hey,
then
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and then the conversation's over because they talked so long that I didn't have to say anything.
And usually they get frustrated at the end because they didn't change your mind.
Yeah,
and they get
annoyed.
They're just annoyed because they said all those things. Or my favorite is the how can you not see it this way? I'm like, because I or not that I can't see it this way, like, but how don't you agree with me? Because I don't agree with you.
Yeah.
Because I just don't agree with you.
The thing about it is, I will 100% disagree with those people. Like, sometimes I'll 100% disagree with them, and they will have thought that I'm on their side. They'll think Tyler agrees with me. And it's like, no, you don't know what I think. You just know what you think.
Because you've heard yourself talk for fucking 45 minutes.
Hey, has this kind of identity politics climate made you kind of pay attention to what the alphabets are doing more than you would have because you have a baby on the way? Like, I don't see. Yeah. Okay.
In a way, like I just kind of like not keep notes, but like in the back of my head, I just notate things about like how that's moving, and then like how to orient myself where we live and those things to make sure that like I don't really have to deal with that. Yeah. Because there are places where you don't, and I don't like. I want my child to grow up in a world where it's like it does make sense. You know, that men do men things, women do women things, and then there are some people who don't fit that pattern, and that's okay.
Yep.
It's not that I don't want them around them. The whole trans thing's a little bit weird.
Yep.
You know, we'll just have to handle that as it comes. But I don't want to overexpose it early.
No,
that's all we're asking.
That's what we're doing.
Literally all we're asking is that we need to stop making this obsession about teaching our children sexual orientation or anything that has to do with sex in preschool and kindergarten and fucking first and second. Like,
they don't need to know what a pride flag is.
They don't need to know what that is.
They don't need to know what a pride flag is at all.
They need to know the rainbow that comes out after it rains. Like,
that's pot of gold. Where's the leprechaun?
What they
like,
need.
Let's go.
You know what? Garrett talking about, you know, graduating in 99. In 99, I felt like 97, everything was rainbow colored. Like, that was the graphic. Everybody used it. Like, those were the colors. And it's not that they were gay colors. They were just the cut. Like, it was a rainbow. It was the design style of that time. And I hate that. Like, I can't use that without seeing gay or because I'm like, I loved those colors back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Nope. Even Lucky Charms. I don't even know how Lucky Charms survived, but they did survive somehow.
They survived.
Like,
gay as cereal. It's the gayest cereal.
Yep. CrossFit, we hope so.
Yeah. I mean, we keep a very, very close eye on the teachers in the classrooms and what he's learning and what he's seeing.
Garrett asked, we went to one of his meetings and Garrett straight up asked, like, hey, is he having conversations and asking questions about two moms? How are you? Whatever. And they said, no, the only thing that they say if any conversation comes up is that families are different. And we're like, cool, that's how we are. Sometimes there's 2 moms, 2 dads, mom and a dad, grandpa, grandma, aunt, uncle, cousins, whatever. All families are different. And we specifically said, she said it, and then I probably said it like 5 extra times after that. If it comes up, we will have the conversation with him. And all you have to say is, hey, G, you know what, hun, that's a conversation between you and your moms. That's all you have to say.
We'll handle it. We got it.
We got it. No problem. Like,
I have a long resume. We're good. I got this. It's fine.
So yeah.
Wait, what's this? Bernie. The alphabet's messed it up for leprechauns. Where's Pedro in this issue? Oh shit.
Yep,
That's good.
Yep.
But yeah.
Well, I mean, CrossFit.
Have you ever been to a gay bar, dude?
Well, hold on real quick.
Oh.
If you have a toddler kid, some old person will question them drawing a rainbow just to watch. I mean, listen, we have to. We have to.
I know.
We have to. Sadly, we have to ask questions about the rainbow because in schools, in certain areas, and it's getting closer and closer to us. There's been issues in Nassau County, in the city. Like, we have to ask those questions. And I'll simply just say, hey, bud, why did you color it the rainbow? And he's like, Mommy, I like the colors. Great. Cool.
We're
Any
good.
other response than that, like, I'm going to have a fucking problem.
Yeah.
But we have to. So we have even done that with our kid.
Yeah, we've done it.
And it doesn't feel good to have to question every single thing that our kid does as simply as coloring a picture, rainbow colors and whatever. But we have to because that's where we are.
Fuck, have we resorted to stop and frisk? Now we're stop and gay. Is that gay? Did you just do a gay thing? Like,
guess so.
Where did you learn that gay thing right now? Like we're back.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
We have to.
You kind of have to.
You have to, because you have these teachers that are in these positions where there's some. I'll see if I can find it, but there was a teacher that was in Smithtown.
Oh, don't pull that up again. We pulled it up on Savon show. Yeah, he was.
Which one?
That was weird with the fishnet.
Oh,
yeah. He had a fishnet shirt on.
Yeah.
And like a
and
wig.
he was one of the teachers.
It was.
Yeah.
So again, your own personal things.
No, I'm gonna ask.
So,
all right, fun stuff now. You ever been to a gay bar, drag show?
No.
Nothing.
No.
Never gotten hit on?
Jeanette was like, yeah, definitely gotten hit on.
Really?
Yeah.
Recently, or when you were like high school, college?
High school, college, especially when I had long hair.
Oh yeah, you were pretty. You were. Pretty.
I don't know about pretty, but it's like, I don't know.
No, now you're manly. No, now you're like go outside, chop a tree down, build a house, like hot. But like when I went through your Instagram for the first episode we ever did, like you're a pretty dude. Like you are.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. You are.
No, never been to a gay bar. Not because I just like it never came up. Like there was no gay bar. I guess there is a gay bar in Lexington. I just never.
No drag bingo brunch. Nothing. No.
Drag bingo. Drag bingo is fun.
Drag bingo is fun.
It is fun.
It's fun.
Give me 1 second. Let me let my cat out of this room.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, drag bingo is fun.
Can you believe that we're asking Tyler Buford Watkins if he's ever been hit on by a dude?
Well, I would say he does look like my brother Chris a ton.
Yeah.
And my brother Chris used to always get hit on at gay bars.
Yeah.
Me?
Like, yeah, you do. And I'll find a picture because you look just like my brother.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, there was one gay bar in Lexington where I went to college. Just never happened to go. Jeanette was like, would you ever want to go to a strip club? I've never been to a strip club. And I was like, I really don't see, like, if I was in.
Just don't go on a Tuesday. go on a Friday, Saturday.
If I was in a situation where it came up and it was like kind of spur of the moment thing, maybe, but it's like, I'm not actively like itching to go to the strip club.
No,
me either. Nothing about it. I've never been either.
It's uncomfortable.
Nothing that
and it's kind of because you don't know if those girls really want to be there. Like,
I don't.
Was
the whole premise is that you are here to coax me into you taking your clothes off. That feels weird. I don't want to. I want you to take your clothes off without me asking.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
paying you.
We
Right.
walked into we didn't realize it was this. Okay, so I lied. So I had been I did go into a strip club, but we didn't realize it was a strip club. We just thought it was a bar when on our honeymoon, babe, remember?
Yes.
And we walked in.
Oh my God. And it was a dude. It was dudes. It was gay
It's a
dudes.
men gay bar.
Men gay bar, like
Oh,
strip
I forgot about
club.
that.
And we tried to rescue one of the boys that were in
Yeah,
there.
we
I
did. We're
shit
like,
you not. Poor thing. We tried to give him enough money to
to
stay
stop for the night
because
It's like,
there was this dirty old man that was stalking him.
yeah,
Going after him.
Yeah.
It was bad.
it was so bad.
So yes, I have been in one.
Yeah, we didn't know that was crazy.
So you guys haven't really been in gay bars either. All that.
No, I've been in gay bars a million times. Strip clubs. I haven't been in strip clubs, but gay bars I've been in. Are you kidding me? Holy shit. I got roofied at a gay bar.
Oh,
But it wasn't for
hopefully-
me. It was.
you got Miss
Miss
Roofied.
Roofied.
Yeah, Miss
Yeah.
Roofied.
Miss Roofied. It was for my friend who was like 5'4". That was like weighed like 115 fucking pounds.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I went to the bathroom, and when I came back, she just handed me one of the beers that was there, and it was her beer instead of my beer. Because there ain't no way someone's pulling a 6 foot, 180-pound lesbian out of a bar without being fucking seen. So like, it wasn't for me for sure. But I've been in gay bars.
It's the wild. You got roofied at a lesbian bar?
Yeah.
That's
I don't-
crazy.
I can't tell you who it was. I mean, there's a lot of dudes that come in there that you
Was
don't
there
know if they're straight or gay. You don't know if
Right.
they're straight or gay. They could be acting gay, but they're really straight and whatever. But
I would imagine to be able to pull the move. It's like
oh yeah,
you
P-Town,
watch-
dude. Yeah, you right, Natalie. You right, P-Town,
Where's
baby.
that?
Not Connecticut, Rhode Island. No, Massachusetts.
Philadelphia.
No, P-Town.
Oh, P-Town.
P-Town's up further. But yeah, that was college days. I don't do that anymore. Or Fire Island.
Barney and How I Met Your Mother, the playbook.
Oh yeah.
To be
Oh,
able
the
to
dick tip of Cape Cod. Yep.
the dick tip of
It's
to be able
Oh yeah, that's right.
it's rich people land for sure.
to be able to act as a dude, act like you're gay, and somehow pull a lesbian in a gay bar seems like a impossible feat.
We like lesbian. Well, gay men don't normally like us.
Yeah,
but we like gay dudes because they're safe.
right.
So we're probably gonna have a gay best friend before we're gonna have a straight male best friend.
Oh, so you think the bridge is actually less far to cross because they're already a friendly walking in
Yeah. Yep.
than even a straight dude because they're trying to get in.
But you already know, like, you've never seen that stereotype or heard that stereotype. Like, straight men love to sleep with lesbians because they think they've turned them back straight. And that's like a big male macho fucking thing. So that's we're more.
So that was one of my questions.
Go ahead.
Well, hold on. That's my brother.
That's her brother.
That's my brother.
Oh boy, yeah.
He's
Vicky
just
earlier said I had hair. I do not have hair anymore.
Yeah,
so
that's my brother.
20 years older than you, but yeah.
Yep.
How do lesbians feel about dudes trying to? I've been a fact since 1983.
You're a good dude. You're a good dude, Vicky. Good dude.
What do lesbians feel about dudes who try to
Convert
them back, or that is an obsession, or not an obsession, but like a fetish, I guess.
It's more annoying than anything. It's more annoying. Again, when I was coming out, I was around guys that were like, "Oh, you've just never had it the right way." That's
Well,
usually
it's
all
not
I
going to be from you. So
right. So that was a lot more when I was first coming out. And then, like she said, a lot of people still don't look at me and think that I'm gay.
Yeah.
So people at the gym or whatever will try to hit on me, and then they find out that I'm gay. So then they start making remarks like, well, I could do this to you and I could do that to you. And I'm like,
I could fix that.
Or like, I could take care of you better or whatever. So I do get that once in a while.
And then I
but-
walk in and shake hands and they realize they ain't getting it because
Yep.
I'm
Never mind.
I'm probably 5 inches taller than they are. and,
Usually,
like,
usually. Yep.
So
Or the ones that then tend to flirt a little bit too much, where it's not just kind because I'm in the gym and I'm, helping people or whatever. Like they make those, again, like 1 or 2 extra comments that are inappropriate comments because they found out that I'm gay. So then but it's more annoying than anything.
it's nothing to like, you're not getting a fight over it,
Mm-mm.
but it's just like, okay, dude, I know, I get it. You think you have the magic dick, the magic stick. Like it's all right.
Yeah.
It's fine. You
Mhm.
probably do for a straight woman out there somewhere.
Do you
Go
have
find
any? Have you had any friends that were like gay forever, and then they did jump, and you're like, wait, maybe he's got something going on. You see what I'm saying? Did you ever lose one and be like, well, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, all the time. Because they're not gay. They're not fucking
You've
gay.
never had one you were like, she's always gonna be gay. Like there's no straight bone in her body, and then lose her.
Nope.
No,
Okay.
not that way. The other way. Like they've come to our side.
Yeah.
Right.
It's more likely that they come over here than they go over there. But like, all the gay on the weekends chicks, they're always going to go back to dudes. I've had so many girls that have had like long-term girlfriends and then all of a sudden they break up. And then 5 minutes later, they're with a dude and they're pregnant and married and shit. Like I've had a million of those.
Mm-hmm.
That's happened a million times. Like, girl, I told you she was straight. I don't know what you thought you were doing at the time. Like,
I mean, and they do the whole thing. Some of them like get married, move in together, literally put their lives together as one, and then
break up,
and that's it.
I have ones that have kids. Like they had kids together in a house and a whole thing, and then one left, and then she was married with a new kid on the way with her husband, and like
they've
all
been
kinds
married ever since.
And I was like, oh, well, damn, I told you she wasn't. It was just a matter of time.
What about it? What about them? Is it that you're like, you're straight?
Oh wait, hold on.
I don't care. I know.
We'll get there, Bernie. We're gonna get there. You just, what about it is that, well, the most likely they've probably only ever had boyfriends beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually those ones that have had boyfriends like all the way through high school. And then somewhere in college, they're like, oh, I love you. You're the greatest butch lesbian I've ever seen. You fulfill everything, because they're emotionally satisfied, but they're not physically satisfied. Mm-hmm. And then after 3 years of just getting eaten out and nothing else, they're like, yo, I need actual.
Need the cack.
I need the cack. Right.
Vindicate. They didn't play softball.
Yeah, right. Yes. Yes. That's fair. If they play tennis, right away. If they play tennis, they're straight. You're good. It's fine. Except for there's only one. Navratilova. She's the only gay one that we had in tennis. You're fine. Otherwise, you're fine. Tennis players.
That was gonna be my starting question. What do you all drive?
What do we drive? Mm-hmm. Oh, I totally drive a dyke car. I have a Jeep Wrangler for sure. No.
Honda passport.
On a passport.
She's good.
Okay.
She's got the family car.
Subarus. All right.
No Subarus. No Subarus.
That was almost too dyke for me, which is why
I can't even be that gay.
Wait, who has a Subaru? Doesn't someone in the group?
Taylor
and Bryson both. Which is just doubly funny.
That's why I found his voice so fucking sexy when he did that commercial. I told Taylor that. I was like, who is the voice in that commercial? And he's like, Bryson. I was like, he has the sexiest voice ever. Now I know why. He drives a Subaru.
Vindicate. She has the ducks in the window.
Yeah,
she absolutely has the ducks in the window.
Oh, Forerunners, yeah. Definitely in the 90s. Yep, for sure.
Forerunners were always dude vehicles growing up to me, and then all of a sudden, like,
you
can't drive through town anymore, and chicks not drive Forerunners.
Gays, we took it. Lesbians took it. We did. I'm sorry. It was a great car. It was a great car. That was my
one.
Yeah, you. Oh, Stanley, you don't like the ducks? All right. Well, I can't throw the one my kid gave me, but I can throw the other ones out.
I'm team anti-duck.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I just don't get it.
I mean, are you also talking about the ones that literally have ducks across the
all across? Yeah.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
only has a couple.
Yeah, it's not.
They're all,
Okay.
and they're all from the
Yeah.
baby.
I have nothing in my car. Like I will leave nothing's like to go in there and not come back out. And
Wait
so
until your kid gets older.
Oh, you
I
think his
know.
sweatshirt's gay? Is that why you guys tease him about his the Caleb Subaru sweatshirt? I thought he was just repping us. I was okay with it. I was like, oh, he's just repping us. Sweet.
I
Let's
could
go.
see Caleb drive a Subaru. He's the masculine Subaru
Oh, the
driver.
ducks. The ducks are gay.
I
Oh,
think
the ducks are gay.
the
Yeah.
ducks are gay.
Yes,
Okay, that's
Kenneth,
fine.
agree.
All right, fine.
Tyler needs to wait until the kid gets older and then
Mm-mm.
enjoy that car, how clean
Then
that
I'll
car
sell
is
it.
right now.
I'll sell it and I'll get a new one. The one that I know will be just totally trashed.
So have you ever lost one? Did you ever have like a good guy friend you played football with or wrestled with and you're like, woo, and then all of a sudden he was like, hey.
Not that we didn't know. Guys, you
Like-
know.
Okay.
Like if they're gay, you know. Now, a girl, have I ever had a girl friend who went gay? I feel like the answer is yes, but I can't remember who it was.
Oh, so you actually dated her and then she was a lesbian after that?
Oh, she's actually a FBB pro now, a bodybuilder.
A body IFBB pro.
IFBB pro now.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay, she went all the way.
Yeah. Zoe Gaines, I think is her like Instagram handle. Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
fire. Okay, so all right, you're in the family. You're in the Hall of Fame. I got
Lost
it.
one.
You lost one.
Yeah, it happens.
It
It was
does?
in high school. I think I knew like she was a softball player. And I
Yeah,
think I
that's a
knew
hint.
like she was a little different. Like,
Softball players are. We are.
yeah, she was very like quiet and I could just tell like we didn't date or anything for very long, but yeah. And then after we graduated, she turned gay and I was like, I think she's straight. Like I was on that team where I was like, nah, you're straight. And then forever gay.
I actually had a crush on a dude. He ended up being gay and I ended up being gay. So we were like, oh, we were meant for each other. We should have just gotten married because like it's kind of amazing.
2 of my ex-boyfriends have come out and are gay.
Yeah.
My very first one is gay. And then a kid that I got close to in middle school, he is gay and just got married to his husband. So, yep.
Do you think that you did that because of like the whole safety thing? Like they felt safer because they were like more feminine in a way, or was that even the case back then?
Sure. Yeah. I had literally one boyfriend and he was smaller than me by a lot. So yeah, he was as tall as me, but he was like a string bean.
Oh,
Complete
string bean,
string bean. If I wanted to like punt him across the street, I could if I felt like it.
Mhm.
And we were more best friends than boyfriend girlfriend. Like it was more like we liked to dance together and we liked to play sports together, whatever. It was more we were best friends than anything else, but we thought we were kind of together. You know what I mean? It was just
Right.
it wasn't anything crazy. So, but we got to say, hey, I have a boyfriend, hey, I have a girlfriend, and write each other little notes and like go to the movies and shit. But
Yeah.
I never touched anything, saw anything, like tried to, you know what I mean?
Wonder why.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
My first one, yes, it was kind of the same thing. Like we were best friends, we were very young. He danced at the dance studio that I grew up in. So it was kind of like, and he was the only boy. So we just were friends. But the second one I was surprised when I found out that he came out and now has a husband and everything like that. Cause we actually dated and we slept together and everything like that when we were younger. But he was a surprise. Definitely did not think that he was gay at all.
The prelude to Chick Magnet is a Chick Magnet.
They're making fun of my car.
All right, let me get into this real quick. I'm super pumped. I think I fixed my camera, so that's amazing. I say that and it's going to turn off. But okay, so I may or may not have a podcast with Big Daddy, and I get to call him that now because he's actually a dad, John Young, Big Daddy John Young.
I was
because
like, who's Big Daddy?
well, he said Big Mama, so I'm gonna start calling
Oh,
him Big Daddy.
man,
So
Big
let's
Daddy.
go. So depending on how
And I am not calling him that.
depending on how his grid league practice goes this evening, we may or may not have a podcast later.
Awesome.
But I saw a really cool podcast between Scottie Pippen and PBD. Did you see it?
Yep.
And they talk about there's one section where they talk about the parameters of how do you classify the GOAT? Right. So I thought maybe if us and the chat and whatever could come to like what constitutes the GOAT, what do you leave in? What do you leave out for the GOAT? Who's your CrossFit GOAT?
Rich.
Yeah.
John and I have gone toe to toe about this ad nauseum.
So I'm trying to see if I can set some parameters, what goes into the parameters so you could argue it better. Because I want to argue it better. Because his dumbass shit with LeBron James being the GOAT over Michael Jordan is dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Did you see the votes on PBD's podcast with that? I sent it to the guys. I took a screenshot and it was like 85, 88% Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And it was LeBron had 2 or something like that.
It's so dumb. Hands down, Rich. Vicky, CrossFit, I get it. Scotty's trying to be relevant. I know. But give the man some slack. Like, Michael Jordan's son is dating his ex-wife. Like, that's got to be tough. Give Scotty a minute. He's trying.
That's wild.
Yeah. Scotty's trying to just, it's okay. Scotty's okay. It's fine. But like, do you take into account when you think of who the GOAT is, do you take into account what they've contributed to the sport itself?
100%. I mean, like,
John claims Frazier is the Bible.
And that's the thing, like John only considers the metrics of like, here's what he accomplished. That's true. Here's like how, like numerically how fit he was. My thing is like, T is actually probably the GOAT more so than anybody else, except for the contribution bit with Rich. He's contributed more than anybody else, and probably more than anyone else will be able to do, short of pulling us out of this hole that we've been in for the past like 5 years. If like we astronomically, went on a trajectory next year, that was crazy, and like Dallin pulled it off, Dallin might be the GOAT if he also wins 4 times, right?
Yeah, I was on the Tia train because of the rings initially, but now I'm just like, is she even like what actually has she done to like the ring? So she's got rings
Physically. So
she's got the rings. So we're counting rings, right? We're definitely
right.
adding
That has to be that enters you into the conversation for GOAT.
Rings. Okay.
Is rings. John will not acknowledge that it's like Tia can never be physically as good as Matt because she's not a guy. He will not accept that argument.
That's why I don't put her there.
Like, just because she'll never clean like 365 or whatever, you won't put her in that.
If she's the GOAT of all, she's the GOAT of all women. If you want to say that, like, she's the best female CrossFitter, just like Serena Williams is the best female tennis player to ever live. Like, I'm good with that.
I would say, like, with the acknowledgement that like she never will be able to do certain things that Rich can do because she physically can't do that output.
Yes.
I'm giving her a handicap for being a girl, but to me, it doesn't even really feel like a handicap. We just know that that's a known, like she's never going to be able to do that. But like, to me, she's definitely better than Matt was.
Because she's has more rings, or because she
rings. Like, if you give her the handicap for physically, also physically,
I don't give her that.
And then also contribution. I think she's contributed more than Matt.
Really?
Yeah. Because Matt has also detracted so much.
Oh, because he talks shit on Rogan. Okay, yeah.
Not only talking shit on Rogan, but like he's
just
just like there's been some smear campaigns on the back end, and like that whole squad keeping stuff out that I'm like, yeah, you actually put your foot on the neck for a while.
All right. Okay, that's fair. Are women is that, oh, Jake, shut up. Are women handicapped men? Just stop it. God, I do love you, dude.
Golf handicap.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I wouldn't put them in the same, because you would have to be able to do exactly what the men do to be fair. And that's why I like Kill Taylor so much when it comes to how he scales for men and women. I know people hate it, but like if you're gonna beat them, you gotta fucking be able to beat them in that workout. Like
Right.
it's just that then you win. It's not like Ty Taylor, it's Kill Taylor. Shohei Ohtani is great, but would we even have baseball without Babe Ruth? Greatest and peak athlete are two different things. Greatest and peak athlete.
Yeah, that's a good.
That's a good point.
That's a very good
Mhm.
point.
Peak naming it peak athlete is definitely different. But I will push back on the peak athlete part because Rich didn't have to compete with Matt.
Just once, right?
The
1 year?
caliber, yeah, 1 year. The caliber of athlete that Matt was. If Rich had, I think Rich actually. I think we never saw as good as Rich could have been.
If he had someone to like go
Push
that crazy
against.
with.
But then also, we weren't in the same training environment. Rich came from like 2009 era, 2010. Like training was in a totally different space. Rich is standing on the shoulders of Matt is standing on the shoulders of giants because the training had gotten to a place where he could actually be the peak of human physiology. We hadn't got there with Rich yet.
Right.
And so it's like it's not fair to me to say, well, Rich never pulled off some of the stuff that Matt did. No, but he also was a totally different style athlete. Rich would not smash people because he would only be as good enough as he had to be to win or just get away with doing stuff. Matt like tried to smash everybody and everything. And it's like,
and Matt knew that though. Like there's in one of the documentaries, Matt knew that that's what Rich did. And so he was just like, fuck it. I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to smash everybody and I don't care. That was pretty much Rich beat Matt. Matt never beat Rich. Yeah. Hulk Hogan versus The Rock. The Rock. And it's okay. So what else? We got contribution to the sport, rings, era. Would you go the era of when you came in?
era comes into play. And that's like the thing for me is like everybody wants to talk about LeBron. But like basketball is 100%, 400% different than it was back when Jordan played. It is not the same game anymore. You had to get beat the fuck up to play when Jordan played.
Yes.
You don't have to do that now.
No. Do you see Wembanyama going to gain weight right now? No, because he's not going to get fucking hit. Like
right.
He's not out there eating meat. He's got his veggies.
They're more dramatic when they bump into each other and then they throw themselves to the ground.
Yeah.
Like that's why I can't watch basketball. Basketball is awful.
Yeah, basketball in the 80s and 90s was insane for sure. But I also do think that CrossFit in their early years was insane. What was that final where Rich fell off the rope? There was like 4 different events that for one event.
Right.
They didn't have breaks
if he did
the way that they
what was the one where he was the first one was them doing like hand release push-ups, going over the wall, doing overhead squats and shit. And he went ham.
It was a back-to-back, yeah.
Yeah. He went ham. Then there was some other one with snatches and I don't know what after that. And then there was the rope climb one.
Right. And then he couldn't climb the rope.
Right. Because he had just went nuts for the first 2 events that he did. So we haven't seen that. They know what's coming up. They know what is in front of them for each, you know what I mean? They haven't done 3 workouts in a row with a minute rest and didn't know what was coming up next or how it was, you know what I mean?
So then do you put into the conversation the grit of what Rich's years were and then the dominance of Matt's year? Like, do they compare? Because like you're saying, in the grit of Rich, they didn't have that much time in between events. Some events were back to back. Sometimes you know what I mean? Whereas most of the events that Matt was a part of, like there was a big break in between. Like they would go do an event and then they would have a lot more time to rest, recover, and whatever. The grit in Rich's 4 years is not the same grit that was done.
The formula changed.
Yeah.
So like, it wasn't as streamlined.
Yeah, they were figuring out the sport still. They were still refining it I've felt this way for years and years. The way in which Dave programmed back in the day was to really find like the weirdos. And then like if you were good across all the weirdo stuff, you were really the best. And as Matt kind of came into suit, like we were kind of programming for a single type of athlete. I think the programming had a decent bit to do with us finding Matt. Like Matt fit that style. He was programmed for. I'm not saying that Dave programmed for him, but the programming sought him out. As opposed to when you program for somebody like Rob Orlando, like knowing that he's going to be there and trying to create a show because Rob Orlando is there, it evokes a totally different type of athlete. And yeah, like we didn't, there were more surprise events. There was more surprise, like weird shit. And that stuff wasn't there. That stuff wasn't there with Matt. And so it was a totally different thing. The other factor I would kick into it is showmanship.
Okay.
Matt doesn't have a lot of showmanship moments where he like was really charismatic with the camera or the fans or any stuff like that. I mean, like one that Rich did in particular was the overhead squat. Like he got third or fourth in the overhead squat workout, or maybe second, because he went for 400.
400.
Yeah.
And he jumped from like 370 to like 400.
And the whole
like,
crowd was like, yes, fuck.
He did that for the fans. He did that for the show. And it's like Matt never did that stuff, or at least it wasn't talked about if he did do it. And he wasn't as charismatic on camera.
Kind of like Adler versus Spraggy.
Yeah.
Like I would rather see, and like this is I mean, I'm coming at it as a fan. I would rather see Sprague than see Adler. And only because Sprague interacts with the people, he interacts with podcasts, he interacts with the fans, he tells his story. Like, I don't know. That's just
you want to start to see a true professional of the sport. Sprague is one of the first that, like, if you want to professionalize the sport, he's working as hard as you need to work. Him and Colton, and like I would even put Dallin and some of those guys into that equation.
Dallin,
like these guys are now starting to do the work of like, hey, I'm a personality that has to push the entertainment of this sport forward. Right. Sprague's doing that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, like Michael Jordan was fucking entertaining. Like he was the epitome of entertainment. LeBron isn't entertaining to me. I don't need to go watch LeBron play.
He's a fucking wet sock. Like he doesn't say or do anything that's fun.
And even have you seen the Netflix documentary? It's like him, the dude from the Kings. There's a couple guys on it. And it's still, I got like 2 episodes and I was just like, I like the guy from the Kings better than I like you. Like
I've watched the Bulls documentary, no shit, like 10 times.
You are not alone.
I've seen it more than that.
She watches it all the time.
Definitely more than that. Like it's still on my DVR and it's on Netflix. I don't even have to have it on my DVR. But yeah, he's just more
There's so much inspiration I get from the way that those guys operated back then and the time and the thought that they put into making it more than just about what happened on the court.
Yeah. Okay, Natalie, you want does give back to the community come with contribution to the sport?
Yeah.
Go with growing the sport? Kind of same thing. Okay.
Because to me, it's a feedback loop. Like the CrossFit gyms suffer if we don't have the games, and the games also suffers if we don't have the CrossFit gyms and the buy-in from the gyms. And yeah, it's a circular sort of thing.
Mr. Jake Chapman, have you ever watched documentaries? What is your definition of a real sport? What, you want me to watch cricket?
The Bulls documentary. It's the most real documentary of all time.
Paddle? Like, what do you want me to watch right now?
Biggie's got strategy. Go ahead.
Instead of going at JY straight on the goat point, ask the questions individually, then his answers might.
Ooh.
All right, so we're all
strategy.
All right.
He'll sniff it out.
I know. And he's probably he's
supposed to be training
for grid right now. So
he could be listening
because he pushed back the podcast. I don't even know if we're gonna get to it tonight. Who knows what kind of place he's in when he gets home. But that was cool. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. That was fun because I mean when he started talking about, he was on his podcast with Brock and them, and he was fucking pounding on Brock, and I'm forgive me for the new guy that's on that show, but he was the new guy gave him some shit though. I was impressed. He really did. He fought back. But the fact that he was like LeBron, I'm like, you get out of here. Just on rings alone, eat a dick.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
he never lost in the finals. When he got to the finals, he never lost. Like, shut up. It's so fun. He's so fun. I mean, it's very fun, but like,
You got to be careful when arguing with John. You have to snuff out his tendencies when he argues. So good luck. He has a few that he goes to. I'm not going to give you any hints.
all right,
but
no, that's fair. I'm earning my stripes. I got to work up to it, and it'll be fun. It'll be a good time. Hopefully,
you'll never talk him out of it.
Does pounding on Brock go against John's core beliefs? I love Brock. I love all of them.
In the name of the Lord. It's okay.
Yeah. And we're doing this all before the Lord's Day, which is tomorrow. So I feel like I come on and have lesbian sex talk with you, and then I can I can go repent with John later tonight, and then I'll be all good and ready to go for tomorrow. So it's fine. I feel like it's fine.
Absolutely.
Dude, thank you for hanging out with us. I appreciate it.
Did we get to all of your questions?
Yeah. Is there anything else that we
there's a heavy one. I don't know if I want to get into it.
We can short answers. We can go short answers. It's fine.
It's not well.
With that one, he might want to have a longer conversation with. So we can save that for another day. Or do you really want to ask it?
Go ahead, ask it.
It's on you. It's on you.
No, good. I'm good.
It's fine. My camera's good. Let's go.
This one makes me nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous.
My uncle said this. I have a it's my dad's cousin. She's a lesbian. She works for Homeland Security. She's like real fucking like on point.
Badass.
Yeah. But she's pretty, I would not call her a happy person. Like she's just kind of all the time, right? Working kind of lady. And my uncle is very conservative and very like religiously based in the old fashioned sense. And so we were talking about lesbians one day, and he said, lesbians without children will never be happy.
Oh, didn't fucking JD Vance say that?
Did he?
I think he just said women without children will never be happy. It wasn't even lesbians.
Well, yeah, I guess my uncle said like lesbians can never be happy because they'll never have children.
Oh, yeah. We fixed that. It's easier for us. We have
we fixed that.
We have the house.
We have the house. That's
like, it's easier for us to get pregnant because we actually have the home to grow the kid. Like it's buying sperm is not a big ass fucking deal. You know what I mean? So I think it's just women and like people want to say women in general are unhappy if they don't have kids. I don't know. I guess if I
think there's something to that?
Yeah, I do. I think feminism, or the modern day feminism, kind of fucked with us a little bit and just made us think like all men suck, and a married life with a good man and a good house and a good working relationship and kids and whatever is like a bad thing. It's almost like they're telling us we have to go to work and be at work for 80 hours a week and run our own household and blah, blah, blah. And that's the only way to show that we're a strong, independent woman, blah, blah, blah. The stay-at-home moms are just like bitching out and not what. And it's like, you're exhausting. That's not, it's kind of not, you know what I mean? Like, if you're that woman that wants to do that, that's fine. But I mean, do you really want to be by yourself, work 80 hours a week, and come home to nobody?
No.
Is that human nature? I don't even think that's human nature for men or women.
Jake said that. And like, since you watch PBD, I can't remember the name of the guy, but like he's like Bachelor, and like PBD's always kind of harping on him of like, dude, you better have fucking kids and like you better settle down. So Jake saying like men without children will never know what it is to be a man. Like that can also, so like the girl thing can be flipped on its head, because I mean, I don't have a kid yet. I don't know, but it's like, I would venture to guess that that's probably true.
Yeah.
Your
I think so.
World will change when your baby's born. when you hold that baby for the first time, like, yeah, it's real. You see your wife's belly growing. You probably felt kicks a couple times and whatever. But when you hold that baby in your hand, the first time it's going to change your life. And then every step after that is going to change your life. I say that my son changed my life, saved my life. And when he got diagnosed with autism, like, I had a voice when I became a mom. I have a voice now since finding out he was autistic, and how much I have to like advocate for him and be there. And I didn't get my shit together until our son was 3.5. Like, I had to get my shit together because the world is messy and it's crazy, and it's my job as his mom to be that person for him. So 100%, like, your life is going to change when your baby is born.
Yeah.
And it will continue. It never
Yeah.
gets easier. And it will continue to change with every season, with every milestone, with every year that passes. Like,
I think we're
I
meant,
can say
I think
that.
we're creatures that were meant to be with somebody. Like, you want to be with someone, you want to have kids, you want to have, you want to grow in life. If all you do is work all the time, you're not growing, you're not experiencing anything, you're not sharing anything with anybody, you're not like that. Who wants that? Nobody actually wants that. I mean, maybe some people do, and if you do, that's fine, but I don't think that's our nature.
It would be crazy to think that the final phase is like, 28 years old, where you have a job that's paying you. Maybe you grow in cash, but like essentially like your experience is just self-gratification and like doing those sorts of things. And then like, I think there's probably some people who are supposed to do that. Like, I know Elon has a fuckload of kids, but like Elon types that are like just trying to fix problems and like conquer the world might make sense if you don't have
Right.
kids. Like,
But
but
Leonardo DiCaprio,
right.
like,
There's no point in which you want to give back to a being.
yeah,
Like, there's no further progression of your human life. Like, you're just in this stagnant place. And like, yeah, you can achieve and do, but like, you're just doing you.
Mhm.
Seems, that
Yeah.
seems
Well, I mean,
there's so many more iterations. Sorry, Colleen.
No,
There's so
you're
many
fine.
more iterations of life after that point. Like, you have the kid, it's getting to them to survive for the first few years, and then it's teaching them how to be a human. And then when they leave the house, it's like making sure that like they understand how to operate in the world. And then like, as you're starting to die, like telling them the last remaining lessons that you have.
yeah.
Like, those are like 3 or 4 different phases that you go through that you will not access if you don't have a kid.
It's like they're telling us that this cycle of life shouldn't be the cycle of life. Like, this is the cycle of life. It
Yeah.
should be the cycle of life. And I'm not saying there are like same sex couples out there that don't have kids, that don't lead super happy lives, that are just happy with each other and whatever. But I think the majority of people want to have a partner, have kids, have, a family, it's something to pass on, whatever. Isn't for guys, like, you just want to pass your name on, right? Like, that's
It
the,
is weird how tied to that I was
yeah,
or am.
like,
Like, I didn't realize how much that sort of means to me. And it, like, my brother had a boy, and I'm gonna have a boy, and it's like, it does mean a lot to me that it's like
yeah,
it didn't die with
it's not a
me.
shitty thing, right? It's not a shitty thing. I don't think look, my dad, I'm the only one he's got. Like, he doesn't have a boy with the last name, or at least one that he knows. Like, I know I
Mhm.
have a brother, but who knows if he has my dad's last name. I'm the only one. I'm the only girl. I kept my name. My son has my name. Like,
Mhm.
that, you know what I mean? I get it. I understand it.
Mhm.
So, Bernie, tough question, real quick. Why are same-sex marriages statistically so much higher than, or divorces than traditional marriages, particularly for lesbians? Because we move in together too quickly. We do it all the time. We fucking U-Haul, we move in together too quickly, and then we find out like 4 months later after being married that we don't like her wet towels on the couch after she showers and dries her hair.
And
Like,
she's
that's
talking from personal
experience, yeah. But we didn't get divorced. We're in love, and that's
No, we
we
didn't
work
get
on those
divorced,
things.
but I say all the time that my wife couldn't wait for me to live with her, and then hated me living with her for a very long time.
Do you think do you think there's more trauma or maladaptive events that happen as you're growing when you're gay that then when you're an adult and you get into a relationship and possibly get married, rear their head than in straight relationships?
I mean, whether you have, I would say whether you have trauma or not, coming out just in itself, like let's say you had the perfect childhood and you grew up being able to play sports, hang out with your friends, do whatever you want, was Mayberry, right? And you're gay and you coming out is stressful for kid. Like when you're in high school, it's being different is just stressful. You want to be the same as your peers. So, I mean, I could say that I think there's probably a little bit more stressors nowadays. I don't know. Straight kids seem to be a mess with social media and everything fucking else. Right now, I feel like the alphabets are doing better than the straights as far as like stressors for kids. But
I think trauma shows up in every relationship. If there's trauma, it's going to show up. I think it doesn't matter if you're straight or you're gay.
Sorry.
My point about that was that I read a book by this writer named Neil Strauss, and I think the book is called The Truth, an uncomfortable book about relationships or something. It's some iteration of that. But anyway, he also wrote this book called The Game, which is like he dove into like pickup. So there was these guys in the 90s or early 2000s who like basically like did the science of like figuring out how to pick up women. And he was a super dork. And then he went from being like a super dork to like picking up loads of girls, right?
Yeah.
And then he, at the end of the book, like The Game, he met the perfect girl and they go away happily ever after. Well, the Uncomfortable Truth book picks up after that. And he basically decides like, I want to live a polyamorous lifestyle. I don't want to be tied to one person. And he goes on like a 2 or 3, maybe even a 4-year period where he just tries to figure out how to do that, make it work. And he wrote all this stuff about it. And the book ends, he comes back to the girl that he originally left. And he was like, the summary at the end. Yeah. That's the first book, The Game. So if you want to learn how to pick up girls, read that book.
All right.
And then the Uncomfortable Truth ends with him saying like, if you're a broke human, it doesn't matter if you want to live with one person or 18 people, you're going to be fucked up. And he was like, it tends to be that all the fucked up people are dating 18 people at the same time.
I mean, I can't even, can you imagine like, I can't imagine dating more than one person at a time. There's no way. The amount of like attention you have to, no. I'm too lazy for that shit. My attention needs to go to one spot only. That's all I got. After that, I'm spent. Like
I think it's the conversation of, I get the premise of broken people tend to be with more people or have more experience, because no matter who you are, the honeymoon phase does go away. The lust goes away and the real life actually starts to happen. So it's very easy to get into the new and the shiny and the lust and the fun of a new relationship. You know what I mean? That's all that it is. But then eventually, especially someone that has trauma, eventually that trauma is going to show its ugly head. It's just going to. And it's going to continue to do that for most of us for the rest of our lives. Yeah. It's not something that, if you go through trauma, the trauma doesn't start and end in said trauma. Like, there are many different times in your life that the trauma comes up again and it comes up again and it comes up again, and you have to have conversations about it. But not many times are you going to find somebody that's willing to go through those very tough seasons of trauma-led situations where everything that I say, every emotion that I have is led from trauma versus rational thinking. So when you get to that point, most people either, one, realize that in order to work through trauma, you have to go through that trauma again. They don't want to. They don't want to.
Right.
We don't want to. We don't want to be re-traumatized every single time that something comes up. So what do they do from it? They shut it down, they push it down, they run to the next thing that's going to make everything bright and shiny again. And you also have to learn how to trust somebody again. It's a constant work of trust. So when the trauma comes up, you have to build trust again. When the trauma comes up, you have to build trust again. And most people don't want to do that, can't do that, don't want to do the work to be able to do that. So whenever, like most of the times when you hear stories like this, it's because there is such trauma in somebody's life that when the trauma shows up, they want to slam the door as fast as they can, and they want to go back to what's fun and what's light and what's not full of that. That's why people don't stay together, because they don't want to have conversations.
Yeah.
Like people get together and in the beginning of their relationship, the lust is there and they want the lust to always be there. And then when the lust is not there anymore, and if it is sexual trauma, whatever, that trauma is going to come up in the bedroom. And then for some people, when it comes up in the bedroom, they don't want to talk about that. They want the lust to still be there. So there's so many layers to that. And that I think is why most people don't want to deal with it, and they have multiple partners.
Yeah, Vicky, you're right. They avoid, and then they try to pacify it by a dopamine response that comes from the thrill.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure. You just want to be like in that first version of "I love you so much."
Yeah,
and then
it's fun.
like,
It's fun. You're going out. You're hanging out. Like you're going out, drinking. You go home. You're fucking. That's literally like the gist of the beginning. That, you know what I mean?
Jake,
so
what are you doing over here, Jake? Why are you? There's a lot of. Shouldn't you be inviting me on your new podcast? Like, what's happening right now? I feel like you should be inviting me.
Thanks, Vindicate.
Vindicate. Yeah, dude. Oh yeah. Thanks for the shirts again.
Yeah.
Sweatshirts. Love you. Get everything Vindicate. Like I said, I don't think we own a shirt anymore. That's not.
We might have to ask him.
We might have like 2 or 3 left that are not Vindicate. But
well, we might have to ask him for, what did you guys say? Tits over cock.
Tits,
yeah.
Tits for cack.
Tits for
Tits
cack.
over cock.
Tits over cocks.
Nailed it.
Isn't that? Oh no, motorboating is your face.
Motorboating. Yeah.
I don't know what the other one's called, but like, all right, yeah. Good Lord. All right, Bernie, let's end on this. Tyler is such a good guest on this show. Great, genuine conversations, fun and not afraid to go deep.
We don't go deep here.
Well, we don't.
I said, we don't.
You might.
You did.
Just once. Just one time.
Hey, dude, you were great on today's show. Where you just got Spin on Wednesday, or you got something else planned?
Spin on Wednesdays for now.
And then are you going to Wadapalooza?
Nope.
No spin cast for Wadapalooza?
We're going to do the spin cast, but from home.
Oh, okay,
I think we're doing the spin cast. I don't know if we're actually doing it.
I really hope you are.
Right.
That's the funnest shit when you watch and like that is the greatest time ever.
When you guys go
dude.
out there and live stream and whatever. Was there just a change? You guys just didn't want to this year? Wasn't just
No, I mean, so Spin went out there for the first time, maybe not the first time, but like first time in a long time. He like dreads going out there, number one, because he has a family, and number two, because it's so expensive. And so he's like, I don't really see the value versus us just staying home and doing it. And then like with John having the baby, and then I'm like, you know,
very close
if
to
we
having
can, we'll go. If we can, we go. But no one else wanted to go, and so I was like, no, we'll just stay at the house. So
yeah,
that's cool. Hey, as long as you guys are
listen, that's how we feel about
fine.
The games. Everyone's bitching about where the games is. I'm
like,
are
you going to the games?
I'm like,
I'm so excited.
4-hour drive for me.
Go.
I'm going to the goddamn games. Are you
right?
going?
Yeah, I'll go to the games for sure.
Awesome.
I totally just want to watch you guys run around in a circle. That's really all I'm going for. I don't even like the events, whatever.
No. Tell the truth. I cannot wait for her to hug Sevon for the first time.
She just wants to see.
I cannot wait. I want to do it in slow motion where he just like goes right into her chest.
Yeah, it's gonna be like one of these.
That's it. Yeah. He's gonna disappear.
I have a good sized chest. My chest is not lacking. I got.
It is alarming how you're gonna be thrown off with how short he is, and then it'll get normal. But at first, you're like, whoa, because he presents so
not short.
His proportions present well on the show.
Yeah,
and then like you're like, oh, you're just like shrunk. You're
Yeah.
like a normal, like you're a normal built dude. You're just smaller.
He's
Yeah,
He's
Jody,
sure.
we're going. I know,
Yeah.
I know. We've kept. I'm just excited because my camera worked. I know we're doing the
Are you-
thing.
You guys
What?
are gonna go to the games. You gonna go to any semifinals or anything? Can we get
Nah,
you on a
probably.
plane again?
Nope, not this year. Not if I'm going to the games.
Oh, okay.
We'll
One trip at a
definitely
time.
definitely crash next year.
Yeah.
We'll definitely get to crash.
Yeah, I
next
want to
year.
go back to Crash.
Before they announced that the games were in Albany, I was going to try to get her to go to one of the semis, maybe the one in Tennessee. Which one in Tennessee?
There's Syndicate in Tennessee. There's also the Mayhem one.
Yeah, because if Tucker got to one,
Yeah.
then I was going to kind of be like, we should go and
Tucker
go
the
over
fucker,
there.
your dude.
Yeah.
We
I
love him.
think he might hate that. I don't know if he hates the fucker or not.
No, he loves it. We get
okay.
Our chat gave him
The name Dreadlift.
Dreadlift so that he could tell his kids because he obviously can't tell his
He's
kids.
like, I can't tell my kids I'm named the fucker.
Tucker
Yeah.
the fucker.
Yep.
I was like, he do be fucking though.
Jake.
He do be fucking.
He do be fucking
Yeah,
with
he
all
do.
those kids.
Yep.
Jake, she's not going to Rogue.
Are you coming to the games, Jakey?
They keep wanting her to go to Rogue so that she'll go in the tent with them. I was like, if you are going in the tent, I am not going in the tent. I will stay in the hotel with the baby.
Yeah. Rogue. That's one. Am I going to be at Crescendo? I would like to be at Crescendo. I've missed it every single time. But I would like to be there.
All right, dude. Thank you so much. Now we're gonna say
thank you all.
goodnight. It was really awesome.
Until next time.
Yes,
He'll
sir.
have more
Till next
questions next time. All right, bye guys.
All right, deuces.
Bye.
See you next time.
See you.